Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Hello and welcome to New Life Live. I'm Brian Perez, today's host, and here we are for 2 hours today, ready to take your calls at 1-800-229-3000. 1-800-229-3000, and we can take any kind of call. What is it that you're dealing with? We would love to help you with your mental struggles that you might be going through. The Christmas season is upon us, the holiday season, and that's a time for stress for a lot of people. And either because there's too much going on or because there's family issues involved, we would love to talk to you at 1-800-229-3000. And answering your questions today, we've got Becky Brown, who is a licensed professional clinical counselor, author, and president of New Life Ministries. Becky,
Brian.
great having you here.
Yeah, it's great to be here in the room. It's awesome.
I love it.
Yes. And also here is Jill Hubbard, Dr. Jill Hubbard, a clinical psychologist who's in private practice, and she sees clients who struggle with depression, addictions, eating disorders, and relational and personal growth issues. Jill, nice having you here. Nice meeting you.
Thank you, Brian. Nice to meet you, too. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here with you guys.
Yeah, it is good to be here. And I know the listening audience is like, who is Brian?
Yes,
Why is he
I
doing here? He has been decades in the broadcasting
Well, hold on. That makes me sound really old.
Well, a couple of decades anyway. But, in Christian ministry, in call and answer questions programs like we do here. Mm-hmm. But, we are in a season of change, and we're, Brian's our guest host today. And so, one of the things that when we first met, Brian said to me, I kind of am like the Ryan Seacrest of Christian radio, which made me laugh.
You remember that.
That's
yes.
funny.
But, one of the other things that you said, though, Brian, which I think is really important, in New Life, we are answering the questions in these difficult places that people have all the time, where they're struggling in their life and their marriages. But in the kind of call in shows that you have, I'm tripping over my words. He's making me nervous. But you're hearing from Christians, but they don't always recognize their need for counseling.
Right.
And you had said something about that when we first met, and I thought, we forget that there are a lot of people who are believers, but don't recognize where counseling can make a difference in their lives.
I think it's that fear of people that it seems like you're not trusting in God if you reach out to a counselor, if you call us at 1-800-229-3000, that no, I don't have enough faith. That's what they're thinking. And I think I used to be in that boat years ago, because when you first become a Christian, depending on who it is you're listening to on the radio, and you might fall into, I agree with that, and without even realizing that, no, there are hurting people, whether it's the holiday season or not, and they need help. And it's not that the Bible isn't enough, but the Bible's great for salvation. Jesus, of course, is the only way to heaven, but sometimes we need a little bit more from people who have been there.
And all the answers are in the Bible, but we have different ways of talking about that. And I think people get afraid of wrong influences, like, psychobabble.
Yeah.
But really, Jesus and God are the great psychologists, right?
Yes. Yeah.
He created
He's the
that.
wonderful counselor.
Yes,
That's the season that we're in
exactly.
right now, where
That's
we
right.
recognize
That's
that.
right.
Well, I'm glad you're here, Brian, and I'll hand it back to you.
Well, thank you. This is where I give the phone number multiple times, right? 1-800-229-3000. I will get that number memorized. I won't confuse it with the other number that I normally give on the other station that we're at. But it's 1-800-229-3000. We're going to be here for 2 hours today, and we would love to chat with you. So give us a call. Becky Brown and Jill Hubbard here. 1-800-229-3000. 1-800-229-3000. What do you want to talk about? What's on your heart? What's on your mind? Give us a call. 1-800-229-3000. Thank you for listening today. Thank you for watching us as well. But call us if you've got a question at 1-800-229-3000. We'd love to hear from you.
Hello, everybody. This is Becky Brown. And as we end 2024, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's given to New Life. Your generosity makes it possible for hurting people to connect with the help that they need, help that can change everything for them and that will continue to have a ripple effect on their families, their communities, and even the world. Right now, you can double the impact of your giving through a $385,000 matching gift opportunity. Every dollar gets doubled. To make a tax-deductible gift and be part of Life Change, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com or text the word MATCH to 28950. That's 28950. I know that you want to make a difference in someone's life, and you will as you give to the match. Thank you in advance.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Hello, thank you for joining us again. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call, and we are here for 2 hours today, so we would love to chat with you. Grab an open line, 1-800-229-3000. We're also live streaming on Facebook and YouTube, so join the live chat, and while you're there, make sure to like and share the show. I've been binge watching various episodes of New Life lately, and there's a lot of people, there's a lot of regulars that are on the chat, and it seems like they all know each other, and they've just built up this camaraderie. So that's
great
really
community.
good. Yes. So you're welcome to do that, but if you'd like to talk to Becky Brown or Dr. Jill Hubbard, give us a call, 1-800-229-3000. Okay, is this where I push that button?
Yep, now you're going to go to
Danny.
Danny.
So here is Danny in Lynchburg, Virginia, listening on WAVA. Welcome to New Life Live, Danny.
Hey, guys. Hi, Becky. Hi, Jill.
Hi,
Dr.
Danny.
Jill.
Hi.
Yes, it's been a little bit since I've called in, a couple months, but I have a couple questions for you. You guys kind of know my history, and that I have a lot of past traumas in my life, difficult past. But I do have a question or two for you. How do you know when is the right time that God can use me in a ministry setting, even with a difficult past set of traumas in my life? That's hard. I don't know. I can't figure that out. When's the right timing? When do you know?
Jill?
Well, I think, Danny, sometimes it's a parallel process. It means we have to do enough of our own work so that our stuff isn't leaking out all over the place and getting in the way of helping others. But as we're in process, because we never fully arrive, right? Growth is a lifelong journey. And so at a certain point where you feel stable enough in terms of how your past trauma impacts like your day-to-day living. Are you able to work? Are you able to function? And are you able to put your past trauma kind of on the shelf momentarily? Well, then you bring it out when you're dealing with it, when you're with a therapist or when you're with close friends and you're processing it. But then in order to function, you're able to kind of just set it aside and not constantly have it at the forefront. Then you can start to move into more action of, okay, I'm not just focusing on me and all of my hurts, but I'm going to be a little bit take some time to be other focused, because that's really good for us in our healing.
Very good.
We all can have things that have happened to us or traumas in the past, and we can get so consumed by that there's nothing beyond that. And really, your past trauma, we want it to be in the past. We want it to be a chapter that's part of your life story, but it's not the whole story. Right? Something that happened to you, but it isn't you. And so you've got to start to develop these other parts of life, and getting into serving others is a really good way to do that.
Do you know, it's funny, Danny, because the perfect excuse to not do anything for God is I've been there through all the traumas, through the struggles, and so that doesn't equip me. But the reality is that God is using you right now, even as you're asking the question. There are people that are hearing your concern. But I love that idea, that parallel. We all have to be working on something.
Yeah,
and we've all had traumas, of course, little, big,
there's varying degrees of trauma, right?
But the challenge that we have when we think about am I ready for God to use me is literally, to quote Isaiah, I think it was Isaiah, "Here I am, Lord, send me." And to have that willingness, God's going to use that. And we continue to do the work that God has asked us to do, whether it is to be in community. Because, Danny, we talk about that all the time. Who are you connected with? It doesn't have to be 20 people. It needs to be a couple, at least, and somebody who is speaking truth into your life that can also support you. I just was talking to somebody earlier today that's, I asked this question, who is on your team? And they said, they named the person, and they said, they actually seek me out. They'll say, hey, let's go have a sandwich. Hey, let's go to the park together. You need those people as you're continuing to do this journey.
Right. And so, you might start small, Danny, serving in a smaller way to build your confidence and being aware, do I get triggered? And if I get triggered, then taking it to my people, processing that, and then moving forward.
Yeah. How does that sound, Danny?
Yeah, that sounds perfect. And I love your guys' advice. It's always practical. And so, what I see in that is, I've been reaching out. I'm now an official life coach.
Awesome.
I've got 150 hours of training.
Oh,
and with
wow.
ICCI, I've been hanging out with June Hunt at night.
Oh, she's great.
She is amazing. I love her. And she called me her friend on the inside of my book today. I got it in the mail in rehab. So great. So she's like, Danielle, you're my friend. She's like, it's really great to meet you, and you're a nice lady and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, this is June Hunt, It's really coming.
It's so cool.
So, but what I'm saying, though, it's good. We're good. I'll work on it. I'm in rehab. Yes. Yeah, okay. I'm in rehab right now. I broke my ankle, you guys. But I wanted to know, while I'm here, I'm studying. I'm doing everything that I can. Major General Bob Dees is in the process of possibly working with me. He said he's going to be working with me around the first of the year on Zoom. And then I'm in the professional category now in ICCI.
So, Danny, it's
I'm using my app.
Right. So
I'm using it.
Right.
Yes.
You're being active and you're being, engaged with it. And you know what? I think what I would suggest is let's send her Take Your Life Back.
Okay.
Because it gives you that insight into these steps that you're taking forward. And I love your spirit, Danny. You're excited and you're engaged, and we look forward to hearing. And we'll be praying for your healing for your ankle too.
Can you imagine if we all waited until we had it all together?
I know.
I wouldn't be here in this room right now for sure.
Exactly.
I don't know where I'd be.
None of
it's
us.
take a leap, right?
Yeah.
Right. You might break your ankle, but it'll be okay.
Danny, thank you for calling us.
And I'm glad she clarified that she's in for her ankle. I was thinking, okay.
Yes.
A different type of rehab.
That's right.
1-800-229-3000 is how you can call us today on New Life Live. And now let us talk to Trisha, who is in Dallas, Texas, listening on KWRD. Hello, Trisha.
Hello. Thank you for taking my call. I just so wanted to reach out and encourage all of the Christian listeners to realize our God is so infinitely smart, and we're his children. And when a parent sees that their children got it, they understood it, and they used and utilized, he is so pleased. And we, sometimes to get where we need to be, counseling, we had that old stigma all those years ago, but it's really just utilizing that as a person to stir your thoughts so that you can get to be where you need to be. I had a friend, and the reason my tears, I believe she lost her daughter because she wouldn't reach out. We've known each other a very long time. And her daughter kept showing her the signs I believe my friend has autism, and they build that wall around themselves because they try to protect themselves. It's all about, what affects. Well, 3 times in the girl's life, she told her mothers and other family members that she just probably should kill herself. And because the mother had autism, and she didn't go to the steps before she ever got married and had kids, I said, "Hon, why don't you go ahead and, get with a counselor?" And she said, "Because I'm afraid of what I might find out."
Isn't that so true of so many people?
Yes.
They're afraid to see the truth.
Well, and Trisha, I love your sensitivity to, the pain that people have. And, what I'm hearing you say, I don't know if you have a question, I'm just curious about where this is coming from right now.
Well, I was married for 10 years. When you're in your 20s, you don't know what mental illness is. We wouldn't, maybe now, because we have more education, but I'm 67. So, no, I didn't. And so, I just thought if a person had mental illness, they were in a mental institution. I just thought, I'm a Christian. I was saved when I was 7. So I thought if you could just make the right decision. You could just correct yourself and make the right decision. But he chose not to do that. And you say, "Well, sister, you're not a professional. How do you know?" Well, puzzle pieces create the whole picture. And after being gone, there for several years, and God gave me this precious sister-in-law. And so she saw it. So his grandfather, from his mother's side, had lots of addictions and killed himself. Well, then they had 7 children, and so many of them had nervous breakdowns over the years. If you took after the grandmother, which I adored, you were fine. But if you took after the grandfather, it was terrible. Well, so sure enough, in my ex-husband's family, he was so affected. But, he lived till he was 73. He was married 6 times, and he died alone. And so then the middle son didn't quite.
So, Trisha, you're talking about...
Wait, that's your husband?
Yeah.
Your ex-husband was married 6 times?
But you're talking, Trisha, you're talking about the generational challenges, and that we know more now. Yes, but we know more now.
His brother killed himself, too. So, yes, we do. And, the puzzle is all there. And it's sad. But I loved him, and I, wanted to be married to him, but it just, and God has, the Lord is so merciful. And we go on, and we trust him.
Well,
and so we go on, and life is good, and we're thankful, for what happens to us. So thankful for all these things. But I just really want to encourage the listeners that God is there for you. And if you choose the right counselor,
and we can help you.
So helpful.
Well, and that Trisha, we can't go through this life alone, because what's good is that God is there with us in these struggles. And I hear that you relate to your friend. Your heart breaks for her. You've had some of the same pain. And so, and there's that saying, you can choose to be bitter or you can choose to be better. And it's better with God. It's better with Jesus.
Do I'm thinking about, the people that you're hurting for right now, Trisha, are those that are experiencing pain or experiencing some sort of mental illness within their family, generational, otherwise, and still feel stuck that they can't find the help. And of course, that's why we exist. We have counselors everywhere. We've been helping people for...
And you can call anonymously.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because if it feels too shameful. Right.
And
give us a fake name.
Well, but I think a lot of times people they don't realize how bad it is. And sometimes you don't know how much help you need until you get the help you need. And on the other side of that help, you're like, wow, there's somebody that supports me. Wow, there's somebody that sees me.
And I feel better.
And I feel better. And the situation may not change immediately, but the power of just the hand of, I can help you. What do you need? Just to be heard. And if if you're listening and you hear Trisha's tears, you may be in that situation too. And I just think so many times it's kind of like what you said, Brian, earlier, is that we're believers. We know that God is able to do more than we can ask or imagine, but we stay stuck in that pain. And it's so hard. It's so very hard.
Well, I'm reminded of what Jesus asked the man, I think it was the blind man, do you want to be made well? Some people don't want to be made well. And
they only know their pain, right?
I remember reading that early on in my Christian walk and thinking, why would somebody say no to being made well?
Well, it's sometimes, I've said this 1,000 times, people stay in hell because they recognize the street names. They're more comfortable in their pain because they know their pain, and their own personal pain is more comfortable than the unknown of what else could there be.
Yeah.
And it's so sad because you have this one life, this one incredible life that, like Danny was asking, God wants to use your life. And he is using your life. So if you need help, we can help you get help.
Yeah, give us a call, 1-800-229-3000. We're here for 2 hours today, and we would love to help you on that path to new life. You don't have to wait until January 1st when you make a New Year's resolution. You can do it today.
Yeah.
1-800-229-3000. If you don't want to talk to us on the radio, there's other ways that you can get a hold of us, and I will tell you about that a little bit later here on New Life Live.
New Life Ministries saved my completely broken marriage.
No matter how much hurt you've had to face, no marriage is beyond hope. At New Life Ministries Intimacy and Marriage Weekend, licensed counselors will help you rebuild communication skills and renew your commitment to each other.
You're building authentic intimacy, and you're learning how to connect on an emotional and relational level. You're learning how to listen. You're learning how to identify those core patterns that get in the way of good relationship.
The Intimacy and Marriage Weekend is February 14th to the 16th in Orange County, California. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50. 1-800-639-5433.
3.5 years later, we're still going strong. I would encourage anybody who's struggling in their marriage to go. They are more effective than anything else we tried.
For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Hello, we are back on New Life Live. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call. My name is Brian Perez. I'm today's guest host, and answering your questions today. We've got Becky Brown, a licensed professional clinical counselor and president of New Life Ministries, and Dr. Jill Hubbard, the clinical psychologist, is here as well.
It's a good thing that Brian's hosting, because I was looking at the wrong camera. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm like, I don't know where I'm supposed to be looking.
Okay, but I think I'm looking at the wrong camera.
Yeah, you're supposed to look right there. Right there. Yeah, there
hi,
you go.
everybody.
The red one.
Welcome.
Whatever. Jack,
okay.
you're playing with us.
Should we start all over? No, we can't, because we are live today.
That's it.
1-800-229-3000 is our number, and we're going to go back to WAVA, W-A-V-A, Baltimore, Maryland. Here is Joe. Welcome to New Life Live. Joe, what's going on?
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I was arrested some time ago, one time and then a second time. The first time I was released because they did not find any truth in the allegation. And then I was arrested after that, 7 years after that, for the same offense. But this time I suffered so much trauma. I lost my vision and I lost my mental acuity. And as of today, I'm remembering so many of the things that happened, which I couldn't comprehend a long time ago. So I don't know what to do now, because it has almost disorganized the whole of my life. So that's what I wanted to ask.
Well, so Joe, have you ever done counseling? I mean, those are the obvious questions. Have you ever talked to a therapist?
No, I'm in a big church, so some of the pastors there and then the doctors, they have been helping me. Mm-hmm. They have been praying for me, but I've not gone to outside the church. Okay,
so I'm glad that you're saying that. So we'll connect you with a counselor after we end this call. But Joe, you're bringing up something where you are struggling with something that was a huge trauma in your life, impacted you in such a way that you've even lost your vision. Is that what you said, Joe?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I lost my vision.
Yeah, and so
my blood pressure was over 300.
My goodness.
When I was in the prison. I was in the prison.
Yeah. So the challenge that you have, Joe, is, okay, how do I get well and how do I move forward? And so it's going to take people in your life. So I'm glad that it sounds like you're in a church, you're part of a community.
Yes.
Yes. And while they're great, we love pastors. We're all about the local church. We are, but sometimes we need more help. And that's where you're at right now. And so we'll get you connected in that way. But I also wonder, do you have, you probably heard me say this earlier today, do you have people around you that are in relationship with you, brothers in Christ, even family, loved ones that support you?
That's the biggest problem. It's only the members of the church and a friend of mine who has been helping me for some time, but he's no more around. So that's the biggest issue.
Mm. Mm-hmm. So your biggest issue is you're isolated.
Definitely.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So Joe, was your arrest, can I ask you what the offense was?
Sure.
And what was it?
I was working with Advanced Auto Parts, and then a guy came to me and he said, could you engage me with a competent body mechanic? I said, sure. So I gave him the phone number of this guy, and they got connected. And then after a week, the mechanic came to me. I didn't know what type of car he was even trying to give it to him. He came back to me and said, I finished the work, and I'm calling this guy, your guy, and I don't hear from him. I said, I just knew him as you knew him. He's a customer who comes here all the time, and he asked for somebody to help him with his car. And that's why I engaged you with him. But he continued to come for about 2 more months, and this guy was nowhere to be found. Later on, I found out that he was a big government official. He was a MD state attorney or something like that. So he came back and asked me, this guy that after 2 months, he came back to ask me, this guy, where can I find him? Because I've been to his shop and it's not there. I said, this guy has been coming here every week asking of you that the job was done, and then he wanted you to pick your car back.
So how did this lead to your arrest, though?
Yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm almost there now. So I didn't know that he went back to the police. The next day, I was on the counter at the job, and I was arrested. He claimed that I maybe team up with this mechanic to steal the car. That was the case.
Wow.
That was all I did. I just engaged them. This guy has lost his mother. So he traveled to Texas to go and bury the mother, and he kept the car somewhere else for safekeeping. So after about 2 or 3 weeks, this guy came back.
Okay.
But I've already been tortured by the...
So, Joe, we get the picture. It was a lot of confusion, and then it was...
But you were arrested and went to prison.
Finally, yes. No, the first issue, I was arrested, I was released.
Right.
After this guy, because he didn't run away. He lost his mother. And,
right. And so where you are now is that you don't have the support that you need. And so we have to get you connected with, the support of friends, a therapist. If you hold on, Joe, we'll get you connected with the Life Recovery Group too, because you can join that without having to drive anywhere and to get your life back on track. And I also want to send Take Your Life Back, but he can't see it. So we'll see if we can get an audio recording or something to you. But, it's tough though, Joe. Don't give up at this point. I know it feels like there's a lot, But the fact that you're calling and asking for help is a great sign that, you've got work to do, and who knows what the rest of the story is going to be. But it could be an amazing
But it's
ending.
not finished
That's
yet.
right. It's not finished.
Right?
That's right.
And God doesn't waste anything. All
No.
of our experiences can be used for good.
That's right.
And New Life Live isn't finished yet either.
That's
We're
right.
going to be here for 2 hours total. 1-800-229-3000. Give us a call. 1-800-229-3000.
Restore gave me strength. It gave me more belief in my faith. I met up with a group of women that are going through things that they had no control over.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, the Restore Intensive will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
When two people want to do their part, we can be restored. But if they don't, we can still be restored. We are not stuck because someone else made a decision. That God lets us weigh in on how we want to walk out our lives. Our wellness does not hinge on another person's decision.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Dallas, Texas, May 2nd through the 4th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
I had a great experience at Restore.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. Club New Life changes lives.
I think I go way back to listening to New Life, learning so much from it, and then becoming a Club New Life member.
Club New Life is a monthly giving family that helps New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people.
You know, I'm so thankful because you know why I keep giving? Because I keep learning, and I'm so thankful for all the lives that you touch every day and the people's lives. So when I get to still hear the radio show, it's just so encouraging to my heart.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
And you know one reason I give? Because I feel like sometimes I'm hiding behind a counselor's couch listening to all this great information and not paying. So my guilt of this great advice is alleviated by being a Club New Life member.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. And together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. 1-800-229-3000 is the phone number to call us today, and we would love to chat with you. 1-800-229-3000. I'm today's host, Brian Perez, here with Becky Brown and Dr. Jill Hubbard. 1-800-229-3000. And Becky's got an announcement to make about something happening in 2025, which is just weeks away.
First of all, can you believe it's just right around the corner? But listen, here at New Life, we want you to have transformation. That's what our core value is. And so we have created the New Life courses, and we are going to launch them in January. And what a New Life course is it's around a topic led by a professional, licensed counselor, coach, with a small group of people, 8 or 9 people, on a weekly Zoom call. And you're going to go through the information, but also connect as a group. If you've been around for any amount of time, you know that every one of our intensives, that's the key thing. We have teaching sessions, but those group processes make all the difference in the world. And so we have created New Life courses so that you can experience that on a weekly basis for a certain amount of time, depending on what the topic is. So one of them is going to be grief recovery care. And so it's a 12-week program. And, everyone will experience grief, and we all experience it differently, but every one of us will experience grief. And so we will get you connected with the counselor. It's for 12 weeks. You'll meet, and you'll also connect with your group. We also have one for Lose It for Life. You've heard us talk about Lose It for Life for years, and we used to do the in-person intensives, but now we have created this New Life course, and it'll be a 12-week course, again, with a therapist coach, and a small group. And we're going to start those the week of January 13th. So you can sign up right away. Obviously, with 8 or 9 slots open, they're going to go quick. And so you want to call today and get registered. And soon after that, we're going to start a divorce recovery course, which is pretty new for us because, when you think about it, a lot of times, Jill, when we answer calls, when people are struggling with grief or divorce, we refer out to other sources. And we were like, we at New Life know what we're doing with recovery, and divorce and grief recovery are so much a part of it. So we're going to start those in April. And, I just want you to know that we hear the hurt that you have. We're going to provide a way for you to get the help that you need. So call us today and find out more about those, or you can go to newlife.com.
And you can sign up for those now. You don't have to wait till 2025.
That's right.
Okay, very good. So newlife.com to get more information about the New Life courses beginning next year, which is just a few weeks away.
Yes.
1-800-229-3000 is the number to call us today. And we're going to go back to the phones. Lisa in Annapolis, Maryland, who is listening or watching, one of the two, online, newlife.com. Hello, Lisa. Welcome. You are on with Becky Brown and Dr. Jill Hubbard.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, thanks for calling in today.
So my question is, as of late, I've become different, kind of like a different metamorphosis of being super creative, and that lends itself to being more messy than normal, and it's really affecting my husband. And I guess I have 2 questions. How can I be a better person with being better organized for him? I don't know what's coming over me. So I don't know if you guys can help me navigate through understanding why all of this creative flow and juices has come into my life, and how I can help my husband understand that I'm not trying to make a mess, but the creativity lends itself kind of to the mess. I'm just struggling right now, and I've never been in this situation before.
So you were never a messy person before?
Not to this level.
Okay. Is it crafting and things that you're doing? Is that why is it a physical, literal mess?
Yes. There's drawing and pencils and pastels and paint. And I spoke to some very artistic people the other day, and they kind of defended me in front of my husband, which wasn't good. Because I know on a level, because they're like, you don't understand. This is what it is. We totally understand your wife, but I'm married and I love my husband and he's suffering.
Right. Lisa, how old are you?
54.
54. Okay. So, well, first of all, I think I love artistic expression.
Yes, you do.
And so sometimes we come to a certain place in life where we feel like we have a little more space emotionally, where we're not maybe in trauma or dealing with something big. And we then have room to create. I mean, that's what we all want, is to have emotional space, because wonderful things come out of that. And so you have these 2 things side by side. Yet you're saying, I also love my husband and I want to be sensitive to his needs. He's not quite understanding all of this. I mean, the simple answer, Lisa, is create a space in the house that is your artistic space, and shut the door on the mess, and that contain it to a location. I have an extra garage, and we used to call it the art barn. It's now filled with junk, but it was the art barn at one time. And so if you can find an extra space and get your husband to agree, okay, this is my messy space, and then our combined space, I'm going to keep neat for you, because I know for some people the chaos creates anxiety. And I would ask your husband, what happens to you when you see my mess? How is this for you? And so instead of just that he's being mean or not understanding. Oh, you did, and he did agree with that.
It reminds. No, he. I said, how does this make you feel? What am I? And he said, my mom. It reminds me of my childhood, and it's not a good feeling.
Oh, okay. And that might be something more to explore with him. I don't know if he's really fully explored that.
It's funny that you say that, Lisa, because that's one of the things that we talk about at our Intimacy and Marriage Intensive is understanding what the reaction is coming from. And many times when we do a comfort circle conversation, the person will say, what's bugging you about me? And they'll say, well, you're pretty messy. And then the next question is, when did you experience that before? And if it's rooted in childhood, then the anxiety comes from whatever came as a result of that. And so you've got this insight, but I want to go back though, Lisa, do you have a space like Jill was talking about that's just for
Unfortunately, I don't, unfortunately. Just because of our living circumstances are small and unfortunately I don't. But he gave me his heart the other morning and I cried because it's really affecting him, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to call New Life and see how they kind of help me maneuver this. But the other person said to him, get her a studio. And he's like, just looking at them, like, not everybody has the money to afford a studio.
Right. But you know what? It's funny though, but even in your creativity, you can become creative in finding the space for what you're doing.
Right. Yes. Like a garage. I know some people that have a she shed.
Yep.
Right? Depending on if you have any land around your house.
That's the opposite of a man cave, right?
Yes. A she shed. Something where you can contain it. Maybe you have a friend that has an extra spot in their garage.
Well, you know what I was thinking too, Lisa? I don't know how much space you're talking about, but you could start with a very large suitcase. And you could fill that with all the things that you have and in the time that you want to spend. And then when it's done, you put everything back in the suitcase.
Right.
And then that way, and it's
boxes,
not forever.
Boxes of your stuff. But
do you guys...
Go ahead.
I think it was Sherry who said she had the craft barn.
Yeah. No, Jill.
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 Oh, Jill. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the art barn.
The art barn. So for me... Yes, I think what I'm going to... You guys, it's like eureka moment. I have to find a space, and that's where... But, there's drying time and curating time.
That's why you need a space, Lisa.
Right.
Where you can leave things out.
So the suitcase won't work.
Yeah, so the suitcase won't work for everything. Even if it's... But if it's... Well, outside is still hard.
What about some of your friends? You said you had artsy friends. Would they
there
be
you
able
go,
to...
share space.
Yeah.
Good job, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, no, these are all great ideas. No, seriously, I think I have to kind of revisit because we live in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. And finances may be an issue, but a storage unit.
I love the fact that you're sensitive to his needs because it can be a dividing point. And what?
Well, because he's getting triggered by it,
and you're giving him space. I want to send her How We Love, the book. Because you're on that track right now, Lisa. So can't wait to see the creations.
But don't squelch your creativity.
That's right. Don't do it.
Lisa, stay on hold and we'll send you a copy. And thank you for calling in today, 1-800-229-3000. And isn't it amazing how... her husband is triggered by something that his mom did years ago, even in their 50s, however old they are. Some of that stuff just doesn't go away.
No, it does not.
No, it does not.
But it can be healed.
It can. 1-800-229-3000. Give us a call, 1-800-229-3000.
We all face days where life throws us a curveball and our routines or plans get disrupted. Things we wanted to do are forced to take a backseat to the unexpected demands of the day. If you normally listen to New Life Live on a radio station, well, you might not be able to that day. And on these hectic days when you're feeling stressed or frazzled, hearing the sound of counsel given on New Life Live is just what you need to navigate the unexpected things of life.
Every time I'm troubled or I have a problem, I'll cut on New Life, and there's always something that is said that is helpful to me.
By listening, I have learned more than I can ever express about how God wants me to live.
Download the New Life app for the easiest way to listen wherever you are and at a time that's convenient for you, or watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe to our podcast from your favorite podcast provider. you never have to miss a day of New Life. Wherever you are, we are.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
1-800-229-3000 is the number to call us today on New Life. And by the way, if we don't get to your call at the end of this hour, stay on hold. Don't hang up. We're going to record another hour, and you'll hear that later on this week. But keep the calls a-coming, not just right this second, but for the next hour and change.
Yeah.
And the rest of the week.
Yes.
Yeah,
all week
call
long.
us always.
1-800-229-3000. Before we go to our next call, I want to go back to Becky Brown here, who's got some information about a matching grant.
Yeah,
that's going on right now.
we have so many people that believe in what we're doing, and they seeded a matching gift campaign, and we've been working on it. You've heard us talking about it. We have a $385,000 matching gift. I know it seems like a lot of money, and it is, and it makes a difference in the lives of so many people. But every gift that you give will be doubled. And so if you've ever thought about giving, if you've never thought about giving, I want you to do it today. I want you to call us. You can call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE, or you can text the word match to 28950. You can give online at newlife.com, or you can go to 800-NEW-LIFE. And we are going to double every gift, and it just makes such an impact in the lives of so many people. You've heard the calls today. People are in pain, and they want to have the help, and New Life has been there providing it for many years, and we want to do it for many years to come. Thanks in advance for your gifts.
New Life Live is heard on 250 Christian radio stations. It's on Sirius XM, NRB TV, YouTube, etc. I think we have at least 385,000 people listening. So if each of you gave $1, we would make that match. But we know some of you can do more.
Right.
So
that's right.
You know, you don't have to give a lot. It doesn't have to be hundreds, but every little bit counts.
But
so,
we'll take hundreds.
Yes.
I mean, you know, or if you want to write the whole check, that'd be great too.
Hey, that would be. So again, 3 ways to give: 1-800-NEW-LIFE, or online at newlife.com. Or you can text the word match to 28950. Okay, let's go back to the phones. 1-800-229-3000 is the number. 1-800-229-3000. Here is Carla in Louisville, Kentucky. Welcome to New Life Live. How are you listening today?
It's on Pure Radio.
Pure Radio. Nice.
Pure Radio.
Okay, I'll have to look that one up. I'm new to this. So, Carla, how can we help you today?
Well, I'll tell you what. It's not a good day. My son passed away on November the 24th.
Oh, Carla.
And I just don't know. I mean, we were extremely, extremely close, and I'm just having a hard time dealing with it. I do counseling at my church. I go to Southeast Christian Church here.
Great church.
And grief counseling last Thursday, and I'm also going to do a one-on-one counseling. And I just, I'm crying all day. I don't have energy at all. And I keep thinking, not a lot. I was very good to my son, and I've been his caregiver for the last 2 years.
What did he have, Carla? What did he die from?
Well, he actually fell out of his wheelchair and wasn't able to get up. And the coroner said that he thinks that he died from a heart attack or an aneurysm. I'm expecting the toxicology report this week, any day now.
Carla, had you been his primary caregiver?
Yes.
He was spiced out, but he had ankylosing spondylitis, and had it really, really bad. And then he just had a lot of health issues, but he was just the kindest guy. I mean,
How old was he, Carla?
He was 51.
And tell us his name, Carla. What was his name?
His name's Joshua.
Oh. Your grief, you're real early in your grieving process, and it feels so heavy, but you're right on time. Yeah. I mean, I know, a lot of times we feel that bad. We want it to be relieved because it's so hard. I'm glad that you've got the counseling. Yeah. You've got a great church support. Do you have girlfriends, family who are also walking? You do. Good.
Well, and when you have a child, regardless of their age, that has special needs or isn't well, it's like you have a child forever, right? They never get to that stage where you fully launch them out into the world. And so your mother's heart is right there being his caregiver. Yeah. And of course, you've lost someone that you spent so much time with and so was so dear to you. And I wonder, even Carla, if you weren't there when he fell, I wonder if there's some feelings about that as well.
Yes, there is, because the day before, he died on a Sunday, and the day before I went over there, and it always took him a long time to come to the door, and I had bought some groceries, and I was dropping them off, and his voice sounded kind of muffled, and a red flag went up in my head, and I said, "Joshua, is everything okay? Can you come to the door?" And I could barely hear him. Well, that's what's really eating at me, because I think that he was on the ground, and he didn't want to tell me because he was so full of going to the doctor or hospital that he would have laid there, and that would have happened. And then a few hours later, I went back over there because I just felt uneasy about it. And he sounded a little bit better, and he asked me if I would go get him some water. And I said, "Well, can you come to the door first so that I can see you and give you a hug and a kiss?" And he said, "I can't right now, Mom." So I went across the street, got him 2 bottles of water, and I put it on the porch, and he never did open the door, get it. So, I'm thinking, why didn't I, for the love of God, why didn't I ask him if something was wrong? I just can't believe I didn't do that. I'm just suffering with that.
Yes.
thought.
Yes. Well, Carla, that's part of that grieving process too.
Yeah. To be able to really see that your son, he made a choice here, right? And Carla, you were also trying to respect him because he is 51.
Right.
And that's the hard call. How much do you lean in and treat someone like they're so fragile and helpless?
Right.
Or give them the respect to the degree that they need it and want it? And how much he was trying to protect you, Carla.
Right.
And then in terms of his illnesses, what was his life expectancy? And this day was going to come at some point. And it's the saddest thing to outlive your children.
That's what I was just going to say, Carla. A lot of what you're dealing with, too, is the fact that, that's like not the order of things or what we think anyway. But, I'm holding your tender heart, and I know the audience is going to be praying for you in these days and weeks to come. But the most essential thing is, as you process these thoughts about, I should have, I wish I would have, it's important for you to talk about them, but then let them go, because you can't turn that back. And who's to say that even if you would have opened the door, that anything would have changed? And so it's hard. True. It's hard, but it's helpful when you have a counselor or your friends that can hold that up with you.
Right. And even though you were the caregiver, God's ultimately in charge here, and God's knew the timing.
That's right. Oh, gosh, Carla, our hearts go out to you. I'm going to send you a copy of the devotional 100 Days of Prayer. Sometimes when we're in the middle of grief, we need some concrete steps, and you can't think about, what do I need to read? What do I need to do? And these devotionals are so good because it's a little bit of scripture, a brief devotional, and a prayer. And, you know, it's a time for support right now. Don't try to figure it all out, and continue to do work with your counselor as
And
well.
it's okay that you're sad and that you're crying.
Yeah,
That's just
you're right
what
on
these
target.
days are right now.
Yeah, grief is never easy, but during the holidays, it's just compounded. So we're definitely going to keep Carla in our prayers. Thank you for calling today. If you're on hold right now, stay on hold, because we're going to be doing another program, and we would love to chat with you. The phone lines will remain open during this time, so call us at 1-800-229-3000. Thank you for listening and watching. God bless.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Thanks for watching today. We love helping people. I hope you sense that. And we know that there's always hope if you find the right resource. Now, if something we've said to somebody else applies to you, that's fantastic. That's what we're hoping for. But also, if you want to join us directly, you can call 1-800-229-3000 between 1 and 3 Eastern Time, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. Those are the best times to get through. And while you're here on YouTube, check out these other videos that we've done to help people see where they could grow or a different path to take. And if you do that, would you give us a thumbs up on the video, and please subscribe to this channel. There are many ways that we can help you outside of the radio program, and it's very hard for some to pick up a phone and dial 1-800-NEW-LIFE. But when you do, we put you in touch with somebody who cares about you, knows all the resources out there, and they're going to find the best for you. There is no reason to struggle alone. I hope to see you tomorrow. Hope you'll invite somebody else to come and join that maybe needs just a little bit of help along the way. I'll see you next time.